It seems to be an open secret that Vince McMahon isn't the biggest fan of tag team wrestling. The handling of WWE's tag team divisions in the last few years certainly reflects that. However, the boss knows a big opportunity when he sees one, and he prevented a major breakup from happening in 2021. The tag team division in WWE has been subject to a lot of criticism over the last few years, and McMahon has been blamed for it. Even with the introduction of the women's tag team titles, they have hardly been made to feel important, and the division lacks any depth. While the situation isn't as bad for the men, the handling of the Raw and SmackDown tag team divisions should be better given the number of teams. Perhaps the tag team of the year in 2021 was RK-Bro, as they emerged post-WrestleMania and became a full-fledged unit in the summer of that year. The duo are now among the most popular in the company today, with the odd pairing dynamic working well. However, the storyline almost didn't happen. On an appearance on Mark Andrews' My Love Letter to Wrestling, Riddle explained how Vince McMahon changed the original breakup plan and turned it into a long-term storyline, teaming with Randy Orton. It was supposed to be one time, Riddle revealed. He was supposed to turn on me on night one. Then Vince, the crowd, and everybody liked it so much, they were like, "Are you guys willing to see if this works?" I was like, "Yeah." We liked working with each other. We were friendly. Randy was gone for like 3 months and I just kept the team afloat, always talking about Randy. I was always talking about Randy and they were like, "He'll be back soon." I had no idea when he was coming back, said Riddle. The original Bro continued the story by himself until Randy Orton came back. Orton was initially reluctant to join forces with Riddle before agreeing. The duo became the Raw Tag Team Champions at SummerSlam 2021. The landscape of Raw would have been very different had Vince McMahon not changed the plans for RK-Bro's breakup in the last minute. What would have happened was likely to be a one-off match at a premium live event, and that would have been it. Being associated with Randy Orton helped elevate Riddle into being one of the most popular babyfaces on Raw. McMahon had an eye for the reaction and luckily, he saw the potential in the story. Orton also seems to be having a lot of fun with the storyline, with many WWE fans stating that RK-Bro has been the Viper's best work in years. Perhaps it's a testament to how an authentic real-life dynamic can play out on screen. Brock Lesnar and Goldberg are among the final larger-than-life superstars that WWE has today. A certain Raw superstar has called both stars out more than once and has faced the repercussions for it as well. He explained how it benefited his career. Few superstars in WWE have been pushed in the last 6 to 7 years the way Goldberg and Lesnar have. This April will mark 10 years since the Beast Incarnate's return to the company, and this October will mark 6 years since the WCW Icon's return. One name who has actively called out both men is former Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle. The King of Bros used their names to stay in the headlines, and it wasn't always well received. While it was clear that he was doing the best he could to get himself in a big spot, he was told off by both Goldberg and Brock Lesnar backstage on different occasions. On an appearance on Mark Andrews' My Love Letter to Wrestling, Riddle explained that trash-talking the two legends has benefited him. "I don't know what everybody else is getting paid to do. I know why I'm here and I'm still valuable. And it's because every week there's a new article, good or bad. People can't shut up about me. It's because I talk as much trash as I do and I don't give a damn about anything. People love that," said Riddle. He also explained how Roman Reigns being allowed to be himself has instantly made him more popular than he ever has been. "Why do you think Roman Reigns is so popular now? The whole time they were trying to push him down your throat, people were like, Roman sucks. Now he's a bad guy and he's mean, but he's cool. He does what he wants. He's the chief. He probably sells more merch and has more fans now than when he was 100% babyface," added Riddle. With Goldberg revealing that he only has one match left in his WWE contract, he told Sports Illustrated last month that if the company wants more out of him, he is willing to talk. However, the interaction between Goldberg and Riddle was captured on video backstage at SummerSlam 2019, with the legend being visibly unreceptive towards the young star after all the trash he spoke about him earlier. Riddle also revealed that Brock Lesnar went up to him backstage and told him to stop taking his name and that a match between them was never going to happen. The King of Bros said that he knew Lesnar didn't like him or see value in him, but he plans to keep increasing his stock until the Beast Incarnate can't deny him the opportunity anymore. Given how Riddle's popularity has soared in the last year alone, he might be heading in the right direction. Former WWE writer Vince Russo had major praise for Shane McMahon on the latest edition of Sportskeeda's The Bro Show. Shane McMahon has been the talk of the wrestling world lately. Reportedly, his demeanor while producing the Royal Rumble match didn't sit well with Vince McMahon, and he was let go from the company as a result. On The Bro Show, WWE veteran Vince Russo shared his thoughts on reports of Shane's WWE departure. He started by acknowledging that he's a Shane McMahon guy, and then heaped significant praise on him. Check out his complete statement. "Well bro, I can only tell you this. Listen, I'm a Shane McMahon guy. I've known Shane for many years. I was writing when we brought Shane on as a character. Bro, I never dealt with egos from Shane. It was never about him wanting to put himself over. He was never like that in my experience with him. I think, unfortunately Chris, we are never gonna get the truth here. You're never gonna hear it from Vince. You're never gonna hear it from Shane, Russo said. Furthermore, Russo believes bringing Shane back and placing him immediately as a producer of the Rumble was a pretty tough spot. The thing that really breaks my heart is if any of this is true, bro, for this to come between a father and a son. But I also want to say this, Chris, I'm reading a lot of, Shane was in charge of booking the Rumble. Shane hadn't been there for about a year. If you're gonna bring him back, and all of a sudden, put him in this Rumble, to book the Rumble, lay the Rumble out. A lot of guys he probably didn't know, he probably didn't work with before. That's a pretty tough spot to put him in, said Russo. In the latest edition of WR, Dave Meltzer shared an interesting report. He stated that Vince McMahon, Shane, and Brock Lesnar were involved in a messy situation backstage while booking the Royal Rumble. As per Meltzer, Lesnar pushed for many things that Vince McMahon approved. On the other hand, Shane pitched some ideas that Vince rejected, which didn't sit well with the former. Do you agree with Vince Russo's assessment of the situation? Was WWE in the wrong for letting Shane book the Royal Rumble? WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg is set to return to the company to take on Universal Champion Roman Reigns in a first-time ever match. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, the match could take place at WWE Elimination Chamber in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on February 19th. The two superstars were set to face each other at WrestleMania 36 with the then Universal Champion Goldberg putting his title on the line. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Reigns pulled out of the match. Braun Strowman replaced him at the last minute and defeated Goldberg for the title. Months later, the Tribal Chief defeated The Fiend and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match at Payback 2020 to win the Universal Championship. He has held the title ever since, becoming the longest reigning champion in the title's history. Goldberg last competed inside the squared circle against Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel in October last year, where he emerged victorious. It was earlier reported that Goldberg has only one match remaining on his WWE contract, which seemingly would end after the reported match against Reigns in Saudi Arabia. Ahead of the table went toe-to-toe against Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event and lost the match via disqualification. Following the bout, he launched a brutal assault on the Visionary. It can be expected that Rollins will want revenge against Reigns at some point. Roman Reigns also interfered in the WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, costing the former his title. Later in the night, the Beast Incarnate shocked the world by entering the Men's Royal Rumble at number 30 and winning the entire thing. On the latest episode of Raw, Lesnar declared his intentions of fighting Reigns at WrestleMania. It would be interesting to see how the entire story plays out on this week's SmackDown. During his historic title reign, Roman Reigns defeated some of the biggest names on the roster, including John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Edge, Daniel Bryan, and more. Only time will tell if Reigns will add Goldberg to his list of victims. What is your opinion on Goldberg's return? Do you think Goldberg will be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.